Have you ever wished you could just wave a magic wand and magically know hundreds of new words? Well, I'm here to tell you that your wish just came true, thanks to the magic of Cognates. Let's get to learning. A cognate is a word in your native language that shares the same origin as the word from a different language, making it easy to understand even if you've never learned the word before. And before we continue, if you want to learn how to speak Spanish, make sure to check out BaseLang.com, where you can get access to unlimited one-on-one Spanish classes with native speaking teachers, all via Zoom. In this video, we'll break down the 3 different types of cognates to help you unlock tons of new Spanish words. First, let's dive into a deeper explanation of cognates and what those 3 types are. As I just mentioned, a cognate is a word that shares the same origin as a word in another language. Because Spanish and English share Latin roots, there are a plethora of words that are the same or very close in both languages, making it much easier to learn. These cognates are categorized into 3 types: perfect cognates, near perfect cognates, and false cognates. Perfect cognates are words that are identical in both English and Spanish. These are the easiest. Near perfect cognates are words that look similar in both languages and mean the same thing, but require a simple formula to convert from English to Spanish. These are fairly straightforward. False cognates, also known as false friends, false amigos, are words that are spelled the same or similar but have a completely different meaning. These are the ones that you have to be careful with. If we don't use them correctly, you could be embarazada. Wait, embarazada means pregnant, not embarrassed? Oh, well, that's awkward. Let's move on and learn about cognates, starting with perfect cognates. Perfect cognates are nice and friendly. They look exactly the same in Spanish and English and have the same meaning. The only difference is in the pronunciation. For example, admirable, admirable, conclusión, conclusion, festival, festival, and so on. They look the same and mean the same. Now, we're not going to go over all 200 perfect cognates, so make sure to visit the article for this video where you can get a full alphabetized list of these 200 cognates. Those were the perfect cognates, but you know what else is perfect? Liking this video and hitting the subscribe button. Done? Perfecto. The next cognate we'll look at are near perfect cognates. Near perfect cognates are words that look similar in both languages and mean the same thing, but require a simple formula to convert from English to Spanish. This rule is applicable in almost all cases, but we're going to take a look at the most common ones and the endings you can apply them to. The most common rules for endings are tion, tion, to tion, cion, like information to información. Airy, ary, to ario, ario, such as anniversary to aniversario. Ic, to ico, ico, or ca, like in basic to básico. Then we have us, ous, to oso, oso, or osa, osa. For example, curious to curioso. And lastly, we have ct to cto, or cto, or cta, like abstract to abstracto. First, we'll look at the ending tion, tion. English words ending in tion, tion, can be easily converted into Spanish by replacing the ending with cion, cion. For example, celebration becomes celebración, and simplification becomes simplificación. Quick tip, look out for double letters in English. These usually become a single letter in Spanish, like attention to atención. Second on our list of near-perfect cognates is the airy ending. Words ending in ary, A-R-Y, can be converted from English to Spanish by replacing the A-R-Y ending with ario, A-R-I-O. For example, we have salary to salario, and solitary becomes solitario. The third near-perfect rule is for ic, IC endings. Again, simply replace the IC, ic ending with ico, ICO, such as academic to académico or fantastic to fantástico. The fourth rule is for us, OUS endings. You can convert English words replacing the us, OUS, by simply replacing the ending with oso, OSO. So precious would become precioso, and glorious becomes glorioso. Another quick tip. Again, watch out for the changing letters in the middle. This time the English Y in mysterious would become an I for misterioso. And the final near-perfect rule is for words ending in ct, CT. This one is nice and easy. Just add an O to any CT ending. For example, correct becomes correcto, or abstract turns into abstracto. So those are all the near-perfect cognates that follow the rules. But there are a few more near-perfect cognates that don't. Here are some of the rule breakers. These words have the same meanings, but look slightly different. They're often close enough that you can figure out the word fairly easily. Here's a few examples. Abyss, abismo. Archaic, arcaico. Disaster, desastre. Fairly straightforward, right? Again, if you want a full list of examples, check out the link to our website in the description below. Now, we've come to the wicked, tricksy ones, false cognates. If you were thinking so far that cognates seemed far too easy, you were right. False cognates are here to ruin your day. See, until now, we've only looked at English and Spanish words that share the same meaning and look similar, making them super easy to remember. False cognates also look similar in writing and pronunciation, but they have completely different meanings. We're going to outline some of the most common false cognates you should definitely know. First off, últimamente. This is often misinterpreted as ultimately, but it actually means recently. The actual Spanish term for ultimately is por último. Our second false friend is advertir, which looks a lot like to advertise, but it actually means to warn. If we wanted to say to advertise in Spanish, we would say anunciar. The third and final example is one you definitely don't want to get wrong. Excitado, which looks like excited, might lead you to say you are excitado to meet your Spanish friend's family, right? However, excitado means aroused in Spanish. So you'd probably get some very concerned looks from your friend and their family members. The actual way to say excited would be emocionado or entusiasmado. Don't forget that. Once again, find a full list of these tricky false cognates in our article linked below. We weren't kidding when we said you could magically learn 500 words at the beginning of this video. There are 500 cognates in the article, so check it out. And if you want to learn how to speak Spanish, why not schedule your first class with a BaseLang teacher today? At baselang.com, you get access to unlimited one-on-one Spanish classes with native speaking teachers, all via Zoom. Try your first week for only $1. Now that we've warned you against falling for false cognates, be sure to check out our other video for beginners on 5 mistakes to avoid when learning Spanish. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.